Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, today we're going to go over the public portfolio. Cheers. Happy Saturday to anyone that celebrates. Let's get into it. All right, so this week, not much of a change. Honestly, I bought exactly the same. So I bought $25 in Nebius, $25 in Zeta, 15, 15, 15 for Meta Amazon HIMS, and then again 5% for IBIT, which is just the Bitcoin ETF. So as you can see on the right side here, Zeta with clearly our greatest return so far at 18, almost 19%, up $9 there. Nebius is another big one, up almost 10% since the start of the year or in the portfolio. And then Amazon, which is great, up 6%, which is, yeah, I mean, great. Year to date, we're at around, yeah, 7.5%, a little under 7.5%. At some point, I think it was around when we hit that high yesterday, around 10%. But I mean, 7.5% within 6 trading days is nuts. So no complaints there. The SPY year to date is up, yeah, about 1%. So good start to the year overall. Obviously, the high beta names are flying, and so that's why our portfolio is up far more. Um, HIMS is down 3.5%. I'm still okay buying here. I just really bad sentiment with the name right now. I trust the company. I trust where they're heading. So I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, that's our biggest dragger right now, and then IBIT as well, with Bitcoin being down. Again, both of those I'm okay continuing to buy. Same with Meta. Um, had some weird news with Oakley yesterday, which is a nuclear company. So they had a partnership there. Some big news this week. Zeta obviously partnered with OpenAI. I think that was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. So super big for the company. That was announced after hours. Sent the stock up around, I think here. Yeah, so set the stock up around 12%, 14% in one day in terms of, you know, during the market hours and then after market hours. So big week for Zeta. They had CES. I reacted live to Dan Ives interview. A lot of great things was said from David there. I think he's obviously pushing Zeta as much as he can, marketing wise. It's, the classic saying of every dollar our enterprise customers put in, they get $6 or $7 out. It's a big thing he keeps saying every conversation. Fun fact too, I didn't realize that back in 2017 or yeah, 2017, David told the board that they're gonna rip out everything they're doing in terms of architecture. He's gonna take 400 engineers. They're gonna make $0, and they're gonna re-arc the entire company for 3 years to allow for AI infrastructure, which is just I didn't realize that as an investor. I'm still new to the name, and for me, that was huge. Um, Everyone says and everyone talks about, "Oh, we were AI before AI." Like Lemonade Insurance is another one where they say they've been coding and using AI since 2016 or 2017. So they've been doing it before it was popular. But and I believe them. But hearing the story for Zeta where he talks about how they literally were doing 50 million in EBITDA and went to zero, just to rearc to build for it was just nuts. I thought that was super cool, and another reason why I'm super bullish this company. Now, in terms of price action for Zeta, where I think it's going, I think in the short term, it's probably going to stay in the range of 23 to 26. After next quarter, where I think pretty confident, but I think we'll have gap profitability. I then think we'll see another re-rating to the mid or high 20s. And then I think we'll carry out throughout the year, especially as well as if the lawsuit gets dismissed in March or April. Um, that would be another big catalyst that would kind of be the last overhang for the stock. And so I think we'll kind of trade in a range unless there's any new partnerships announced or any new big deal until next quarter where we see some guidance and we see gap profitability as well as NRR, which is going to be awesome, net dollar retention. So yeah, I'm still looking to buy. I still think it's undervalued. I think it's currently at a 4.5 price to sales. Let's actually take a look right now. Let's see. So currently, if I go ahead and go to Zeta, somewhere in here, and we go to NRR. Yeah, so NRR last quarter was 114%. And if we go to price to sales, hit this in, let me go ahead. Yeah, so 4.79 price to sales, and that's after a 25% move. So to me, it's still undervalued. Once we get to that 6 price to sales range with a company that's not profitable, then I'd probably be a little, "Okay, I think we're around, fair value for the company." But as they continue to grow and as they continue to CAGR 25% growth each year, even 6 price to sales looks cheap, honestly. But that's just how I'm viewing it right now. I think I'll wait until they actually are profitable and continue to be profitable until I continue to go, okay, let me keep buying. But yeah, the shares are up 18%. It currently makes up around 27% of the portfolio, and that's because it's run up so much. Nebius last week had a big week too. They announced that they're an exclusive partnership, as we all know, with NVIDIA, but more so for the Vera Rubin NVL72 um, supercomputers from NVIDIA, which is great. I think, again, that's one of the reasons I love Nebius is their exclusive partnership. Someone like an IREN or a Cypher or a Bitfarm don't have yet. Could happen. But I think that's another reason why I love them is now the enterprise clients and all of the customers are going to want to use Nebius's inference platform first because they have that partnership. And now it doesn't, they're not exclusive, right? I think these other companies like an IREN, like a CoreWeave, will have the Vera Rubin NVL72s within 6 to 12 months. But I think Nebius having the first mover advantage for it is just another, to me, part of the reason or edge case as to why I like them. They also announced that they're expanding to 80 megawatts in Israel. So they're expanding a lot there from, I think, the Q2 of 2026, so this year, June of this year, until I think the second half of 2027. So again, that's around $880 million of cost, I believe, and will produce around 880 million in revenue. So that's great. They're expanding the footprint as they should be. Um, so yeah, big news this week for Nebius and Zeta. Usually that happens at the start of the year. Companies have sort of like a hiatus from mid December until the new year, with everyone taking off. Um, Hymns, no news besides really just the classic Bank of America doing downrating or downgrade. I think they downgraded from 30 to 28. Let's actually just take a look. Let's see. It's November. Okay, here we go. Or B of A, sorry, not bank. Yeah. Bank of America. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. I saw it somewhere. Let's see. Okay, here we go. 39 to 20, 32 to 29. So again, they're just always downgrading. I don't really care. Plenty. They can downgrade all they want. To me, nothing's changed within the thesis. You look at a company here, and I'll go ahead and pull it up here too as well. You look at a company that's continuing to grow and continuing to perform how the way they need. Obviously, you see here a little bit of a blimp, um, but I think that's just a part of the game, and it is what it is, right? I'm not too stressed about it. So that's Nebius hymns and Zeta news this week. In terms of meta, like I said, the only new partnership that I saw was Oklo and a partnership with um, Meta, and so that's cool, but nothing there. I think they also acquired a company called Menace AI or Menace AI. Let's take a look again. Yeah, they acquired Manus. Um, yeah, so they acquired another AI company for 20 billion or 2 billion. So they're just a drop in a bucket for them when it comes to their cash. So nothing crazy for them this week, but yeah, they're down around 1% as you can see, and then Amazon up 6% this week. I think there's no news for them. I think it's just honestly people buying and maybe some spy movement as well. Just some movement from people trying to get in there as it's underperformed for 5 years. But I'm pumped to see that move for the first time. It's not really much that moves like this, especially with no news or earnings or catalysts. I mean, up 10% for a week in a week for a company that's like 2 or 3 trillion is 200 to $300 billion, which is just, I mean, that's nuts when you really put it in that perspective. That's like 40 Zetas in 1 week. And then again, IBIT. This is just the Bitcoin ETF. So again, this is down 1% this week. And if we go to BTC itself, I believe this is also going to be, yeah, it's basically flat for the week. And so I think it's just, again, it basically just plays with Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin moves, however Bitcoin moves is typically how it trades. And so because you can't have the UI with in the portfolio of owning Bitcoin, I wanted to own just the trust ETF, to be able to have a little bit of a, I have some allocation there, but not a crazy amount because I'm not a Bitcoin maxi or any sort of, crypto person. But yeah, so far portfolio is crushing again, 7.26%, outperforming the S&P so far by around 6x, which is great. Hopefully we continue that the rest of the year. Again, I think I'll deposit another $100 on Monday. I'm probably going to continue to DCA the same percentage into the same stock. So 25 Nebius, 25 Zeta, 15 Meta, 15 Amazon, 15 Hams, and 5% IBIT until fundamentals change for something. Let's say, Hims comes out and says our $6.5 billion guidance for 2030 is actually going to be 5.5. I probably would sell out, or trim. Or let's say Meta comes out and revises and says, we're going to crush our projections for EPS, free cash flow, and revenue at the end of the year. I'm probably going to increase it to 20%. It just depends on fundamentals. Right now, nothing for me has changed drastically. I'm still super bullish on all of them. And the most bullish, as you can see, Zeta 25, Nebis 25, had the best news this week. And again, that's why I'm going to continue to allocate the way I am. Um, Now, in terms of when I might stop purchasing them, I'm not entirely sure right now. Like, let's say tomorrow I wake up and Nebius is 200, I probably wouldn't buy. I wake up tomorrow, Zeta's 55, I probably wouldn't buy. But right, that's not usually how it works. It doesn't usually double overnight. And so typically, as it'll double, the fundamentals will also increase drastically. And so there's no reason for me to sell it again. But if for some reason, let's say Hims hits 120 tomorrow just because they partner with Novo Nordisk again, and so it skyrockets 70%. I may trim, I may sell out. But for now, I'm keeping the same allocation. We're gonna keep crushing it. I'll keep, transparently sharing my thoughts and how I think about it. But yeah, that's been this week. I appreciate you guys following along. I mean, I love the support. This is so much fun to do. Um, have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.